I'm DiPego, and I have a quick project here. I'm going to turn this motorcycle ramp, which I found in the street, abandoned, and this old rusted dolly, I'm going to turn these items into a wine rack. I have some people coming over for dinner tonight, and in order to best use my time while they're on their way, I figured I'd do some welding instead of cleaning up inside. But this is all aiming towards getting the place straightened up because I have a bunch of bottles of wine and no nice place to put them. I have a pretty nice bar inside that's all upcycled. But now, new wine rack for my 1915 craftsman style house that I'm fixing up. If I ever wanted to use this thing, I'd have to replace the wheels because they're so worn out. The ramp I got for free, the dolly was left behind. It was in my garage when I moved in. So I got that for free as well. So let's get to it. Alright, the theory is this thing will stand up like so, and then the bottles will fit into the holes. But you can see that these holes are too small to admit the bottle. I know from other projects that I've done that the neck of a wine bottle is about 1 inch. These holes are exactly too small. But I have a step bit, and I'm going to use that to widen out these holes. Okay, this guy is going to become the base. This little piece of angle iron that was from, I don't know what, some other project, it's going to get welded right there. Okay, it's done. I beat my deadline, so it was installed there in time for the dinner party. It works, and it's pretty cool, but I don't like it. I wanted the dolly to be more of a design feature, but instead it looks just sort of practical, but I will make it cooler. You've seen me in other videos using the Rage 2, and I really dug it, and I talked about it. And not only did you see me talking about it, but the people over at Evolution Tools saw it. They make the Rage 2. They sent me the Rage 3 to see what I would think of this one. Redoing my wine rack gives me the opportunity to show you this new tool. I'm pretty excited about it because it's not just a chop saw, it's actually a miter saw. So I can cut 45s, or not just 45s, but I can cut angles. I think it's going to go a lot faster than the Rage 2 did. I love the Rage 2, but this thing, I'm excited. This will be my first real practical use for it. That's perfect and beautiful. Okay, some jobs are more planned than others, so I can't make any promises, but I think I'm done with the saw, which I love. That thing was great. Just adjusting from 45 to 90 to 45 to 90. I'm looking forward to other projects where I'm going to experiment with other angles other than those two. I'm very happy. I'm going to weld it. Okay, now it's done. Everything on the back I spray painted in a matte black so that it soaks up light and is less likely to be seen. And then I just dusted the front with a high gloss so that all of the little weld marks and stuff like that would blend in with the original patina without popping out like brand new marks. Because the base is so narrow so that you can't see it from the front, if the base was triangular, it would be more stable, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to be pretty invisible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overcompensate by putting 25-pound weight plate into the base. And then I'm going to make it even more stable by putting a second 25-pound weight plate into the base. You can't see them from the front. Now it barely wants to move at all. Those little pieces of angle iron that I welded on the back above each hole grab onto the neck of the bottle and hold it in place to make it a little more stable than it was before. Before, it was just the circumference of the hole itself that was holding the bottle in place, and that wasn't as stable as I wanted it to be. And then also, you saw I reamed out every hole. And that took all the burrs off, because before I was getting some scratches and stuff on the bottle, and that's not going to happen now. There's room for 15 bottles here, which is a little more than a case. I've got plenty of wine next to my bar. If you happen to have an extra motorcycle ramp lying around, then I highly recommend. Okay, the project is done, so obviously we're at the cocktail portion of the video. But since this whole thing was about wine today, I'm going to talk about picking a bottle of wine. If you're looking for a wine that you're not familiar with, you're at the liquor store or grocery store, just think about what it is that you like and then look at the alcohol content of the wine. I like a high alcohol content, not because I'm looking to get drunk as quickly as possible, but because the alcohol in the wine come from the sugars which are converted into alcohol. So the higher the alcohol content, the less sugar there is. And I prefer not to have a sweet wine, so I look for something that's like 14.5 and above percentage of alcohol. If you're looking for something else, then you can adjust accordingly, and then you'll know what kind of wine you like based on the alcohol content. For instance, I like a Zinfandel, a California red Zinfandel. Right here at the top of my wine rack is this Zin from the Alexander Valley Vineyards. They're in Sonoma. And I like this. Another good way to choose a bottle of wine is if it has an interesting label. That's another thing I like about the Zinfandels. They tend to be a little more whimsical with their labels, which tells you something about who's bottling your wine. That's not a given. You're not always going to end up with a good bottle of wine just because it has a good label or a nicely designed label. So look at the alcohol content, look at the label. You'll come to know the varieties that you like. There are other flavor factors that come in as well, like is it going to be jammy, is it going to taste like tobacco or leather or dirt in a good way. And those are things you come to learn. The alcohol content won't tell you all of that information. So, that's a gorgeous sound. I'll pour you one too. It's kind of spicy, a little bit chocolatey, very tasty. So, I hope you enjoy a glass of wine. I hope you enjoy the wine rack made out of a motorcycle ramp. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. That'll help me out. You can subscribe to my channel, see more projects like this, see me fixing up my house, other things that I make or repair or upcycle. Follow me on social media. You'll see the links to all that down below. You'll see things there that don't end up as videos. In the meantime, thank you. Cheers.